know the Byzantine Empire might have secrets that are still hidden today? What if I told you some of the greatest mysteries of this once mighty empire are still being uncovered? Stick with me, and let's explore what history didn't tell you. The Byzantine Empire, lasting over 1,000 years, is often overshadowed by its more famous predecessor, the Roman Empire. But what if I told you the Byzantines had stories, triumphs, and downfalls that could rival any great empire in history? From political intrigue to military genius, from religious battles to strange rituals, there's much more than meets the eye when it comes to this empire. So, let's take a deeper look at the Byzantine Empire's hidden stories. Ready? Now, many people think they know about the Byzantine Empire. They think it's just a continuation of Rome, a bunch of old guys in togas, and some big buildings. But here's the truth. So much of what we know about the Byzantines is based on a few pieces of the puzzle. The problem: many key stories have been lost or distorted over time. And today, we're going to challenge the way you view the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was not just about emperors, generals, and wars. The Byzantines were masters of diplomacy, theology, and culture. However, their true story is buried under layers of myths and misunderstandings. Let's uncover some of the empire's most shocking and lesser-known facts. While many see the Byzantine Empire as a continuation of Rome, the reality is a lot more complicated. It all started long before the fall of Rome, in 476 AD. In fact, the Empire of the East, or what we now call the Byzantine Empire, was already forming its own identity centuries earlier. The Romans themselves were once seen as outsiders in the vast Mediterranean world. But what did they do to set themselves apart from the Greeks and Persians? The answer is strategy. Constantinople, founded by Emperor Constantine in 330 AD, wasn't just a new capital. It was a fortress designed with military genius and a powerful political statement. The idea was simple: relocate Rome's heart to a place with better defenses and create a stronger center for the empire. What happened next was astounding. Constantinople became the gateway between Europe and Asia, and it thrived. The Byzantine Empire's relationship with religion is often oversimplified. It's easy to think of the empire as one that was entirely devout, a society where church and state were always one. But let's take a closer look at some of the empire's darkest secrets in relation to religion. For one, the church was not just a place for spiritual reflection. It was a political tool. Emperors often manipulated religious matters for their own gain. Take the infamous Iconoclast Controversy of the 8th century, for instance. The dispute over the use of religious images split the empire into factions. Emperors outlawed icons, believing they were heretical. Yet some of the most powerful figures in the Byzantine Church were secretly fighting for the return of those icons. Why? Because they knew the power of images in swaying the hearts and minds of the people. But even more shocking, the bishops who ruled over the church often had more political power than the emperors themselves. The most famous of these figures was Patriarch Photius, whose rivalry with Pope Nicholas I led to one of the most explosive splits in Christian history, the Great Schism of 1054. We all know about Roman legions, but how much do we know about the Byzantine military? The truth is, the Byzantines were incredibly skilled at warfare, but they had one secret weapon: Greek fire. This was a liquid substance used in naval warfare that could burn on water, a deadly tool that gave the Byzantine fleet a nearly unbeatable edge. Imagine this: an enemy fleet approaching, only for their ships to burst into flames, completely taken by surprise. The fact that the exact recipe of Greek fire remains a mystery to this day is a testament to the ingenuity of the Byzantine military. But military genius didn't stop with Greek fire. The Byzantine army was incredibly strategic in the way they handled battles. They used decoys, intelligence networks, and innovative tactics that would influence military thinking for centuries. The Varangian Guard, made up of Norsemen, was an elite unit that served as personal bodyguards to the emperor. Not just skilled warriors, they also served as a symbol of Byzantine diplomacy, drawing allies from distant lands. While most of the focus of Byzantine history is on the emperors, the role of women, particularly empresses, was just as significant. One of the most famous Byzantine women was Empress Theodora. She started as a circus performer and rose to power alongside her husband, Emperor Justinian. Known for her intelligence, political savvy, and influence, Theodora helped enact laws that protected women and children, and even prevented riots by making key political moves. But her power wasn't always accepted, and her influence often faced challenges from the male-dominated court. The story of Theodora's rise from the lowest levels of society to the pinnacle of Byzantine power is just one of many fascinating stories about the women behind the throne. And yet, Theodora's legacy has been somewhat obscured in mainstream history. Now let's talk about the fall of Constantinople in 1453. You've probably heard the story. A massive army of Ottoman Turks, led by Sultan Mehmed II, lays siege to the city, and after weeks of fighting, they finally breach the walls. But what if I told you that the Byzantine Empire didn't fall simply because the Ottomans were stronger? In reality, the Byzantine Empire was already weakened by internal struggles, economic decline, and political fragmentation. For years, the empire had been trying to maintain its shrinking territories, while its leaders often couldn't agree on how to defend the city. Some historians argue that the fall was inevitable due to the empire's inability to modernize and adapt to changing warfare tactics. But what many fail to mention is the desperation of the defenders. The last emperor, Constantine XI, fought valiantly, but with little to no support from the West. The Byzantine Empire's history isn't just about emperors, battles, and famous cities like Constantinople. It's about people who pushed the limits of diplomacy, religion, and military innovation. It's about complex political maneuvering, rivalries, and stories that continue to influence the modern world today. For example, the Byzantines were masters of diplomacy. They understood the importance of alliances, even with enemies, and played a key role in shaping the political landscape of Europe and the Near East. If you think this empire was just about wars and glory, you're missing half the story. The Byzantine Empire, with its rich history and hidden secrets, was far more than just a footnote in the story of Rome. It was a complex, dynamic empire that lasted over 1,000 years, shaping the course of history in ways that still resonate today. But its true story is still being uncovered, piece by piece, as more scholars dive into the mysteries of the past. If you found this journey through the Byzantine Empire fascinating, Make sure to subscribe and check out our next video for more hidden histories you won't believe.